are very excited about the opportunities that we are looking at coming into the fall and into this next year, and with increased staffing and stability of our program. And one of the big things that we do is that we help create these transformative experiences. And as Marianne was mentioning, those are across many disciplines. So those relate to scientific creativity, artistic creativity, and sort of everything in between. So what this virtual exhibit is, and it's a website, I hope everyone has had the chance to go to the actual website. And what I'm going to actually do right now is share my screen and show you this. If you haven't, come to the site. And so this is the site here. And if you haven't brought it up, I would go ahead and copy that address, put it in your browser. This is going to become part of our permanent website. So the exhibition is the Santa Rosa Island Gateway to Expression. And again, as Marianne said, it's a lot of effort by the coordinating team here, and especially with our student intern, Daniel Solis, who really helped develop the site. And what the site is that there's some summary information before each section, but we've really broken up those submissions, those over 100 submissions from 39 different artists into these different sections: flora and fauna, the historic ranch area, and history, artistic interpretive works, island landscapes, and student experience. And so if you click on each of these, you will find the submissions. So there's summary information at the top. There are the individual submissions with information surrounding them. And what you'll also find here are these reflections, these quotes that are included as part of some of the artist statements in submission. And some of the reflections are gathered from journal entries on the island that relate to these specific areas. So the folks who are going to be speaking today, they represent kind of many of these different areas of submissions. And so you'll be seeing their work specifically, but I really encourage you to dive into the site. And so that's here at ciartgalleries.cikeys.com/SRIRS, and explore this. We hope to be able to continue this in the future, add to this site, and it is it's a really cool thing, and I think a great thing for our community, across the board, to really celebrate the island, celebrate the research station, and as always, celebrate our partners with Channel Islands National Park, who we would not be able to function without. And we even have some submissions here from National Park Service staff. And we really thank their support of this partnership as well. On this site, there's a few larger submissions too, that have a few images shown, but have a link to many more images that we weren't able to show. I encourage you to investigate those. And as well as Marianne said, please feel free as the talks are going on to put questions in the chat, and we're really going to open it up at the end to have a more dynamic Q&A. So thank you everyone for attending. Thank you for your support of the Research Station program and being able to celebrate it in this way right now. And we hope to work and collaborate with a lot of these folks who are here today and who are looking at this site into the future. So thanks everyone for your time very, very much.
Thank you, Russ. Professor Matthew Vermansky is going to introduce our first speaker, Leila Brody.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. It is my pleasure to introduce Leila Brody. Leila is a junior at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo studying photography and video. Originally from Santa Barbara, she grew up surfing, camping, and exploring her favorite place, the Channel Islands. After graduation, she wants to go into the documentary film industry or create photography and marketing for environmentally conscious companies. Please welcome Leila.
Hi, thank you. I'll share my work here. All right. That was a really nice introduction. as you said, my name is Leila Brody. I'm a photography student, and this is some of the work I did for a class project. And so, as you said, I grew up in Santa Barbara. The Channel Islands hold a really special place in my heart. I was fortunate enough to be able to go out there a lot as a kid. Santa Rosa especially was always very special to me. I even lost my first tooth out there. It's just always been a really dear place in my heart. And so when my professor at Cal Poly assigned a project where we show change and evolution through images, I immediately thought of Santa Rosa because of the de-evolution that it's going through, going from ranch land to protected land. So, yeah, so I wanted to show that the change the environment has gone through. I went out there and took pictures of some really beautiful hills and beaches, and I was pretty happy with the results. I liked the pictures, they were okay. But when I got back home, I realized that they didn't really show change. They didn't really show evolution. And let's be real, I started panicking. My assignment was due very quickly, and it's not that easy to go out there. But I looked at some of my pictures and I found this amazing picture of a cowboy. And it was on display in the old schoolhouse on Santa Rosa, which some of you have been to. It's very cool. And I had taken a picture of that picture, and it gave me this light bulb moment where I would combine archival pictures of the island with my pictures to show how much it has changed. And I got really lucky that a lot of the places that I had taken pictures of matched up with some of the archival pictures. So I was able to show the direct correlation between them. And I'm pretty happy with the results. I think it was very cool. It definitely made me pay attention more to the details of the island. I noticed a lot more natural plants and animals when I was looking through the pictures, trying to line everything up. And it was pretty amazing to watch how it kind of went from a Wild West to this natural wild environment. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. I don't know if you see the comments, but there are some very kind comments commenting on how beautiful the work is. And it's stunning. It really is. So now Station Assistant Director Robin Shea is going to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Wendy Wooten.
Much, Marianne and Leila. Your works are they just resonated with all of us. They're amazing. So I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Wendy Wooten. Wendy is a biomedical science and biotechnology instructor at Reseda Charter High School in LA Unified. She got her PhD in biochemistry and cell biology from UCLA and has held various teaching and professorships during her career. Wendy's been a partner of ours for the last 6 years and typically brings her students out 2 times, sometimes 3 times a year to the station. And her inspiration and the way she handles her kids and fosters their curiosity, the place-based learning and research that we're able to help facilitate is just really inspiring and makes what we do all the more worthwhile. So thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us, and to your students as well. We look forward to seeing you on the island soon, hopefully. Take it away.
I'm just going to jump in here. Sorry, 1 second before you take it away, Wendy. Marianne, if you could do the speaker adjustment. I think we've had it pinned on Leila there. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Wendy.
Okay, thanks, Russ. Thank you, Robin, for the kind words. I'm very excited to be here with some of my students as part of the opening event. Our submission for the Gateway to Expression was a compilation of student reflections on all the opportunities and experiences to do research out at the Santa Rosa Island Research Station. So for many of you who might not be familiar with our high school, Reseda Charter High School, we're a public school, part of Los Angeles Unified School District. And we're located in the West San Fernando Valley. We're not a real big high school, but as you can see, our school serves a large underrepresented and economically disadvantaged group of students. But we have our biomedical science pathway, biotechnology pathway, and it's allowed the students in the pathway to really excel and have some amazing opportunities. And I just want to point out the fact that there are so many underrepresented and economically disadvantaged students that are getting this opportunity. I think it really magnifies the impact that Santa Rosa Island Research Station and the opportunity to visit the island has had on the students. Basically, our research has centered on monitoring biodiversity on Santa Rosa Island using DNA barcoding. And we introduced the Barcoding Life's Matrix program that was developed by Coastal Marine Biolabs at our high school. And then, fortunately, we were able to go into this collaboration with the university to monitor biodiversity on the island while the university is doing their various restoration projects. And so our students come out in the fall and spring, twice, 2 to 3 times a year, usually 4 to 5 days, and they collect indicator species. A lot of times it's been bees, which are major pollinators. And then they go back to the classroom and they do the wet lab. They do the DNA barcoding at school, where they isolate and purify the genomic DNA. And then they amplify a specific region, the mitochondrial cytochrome oxidase subunit 1 barcoding region that's used to identify species of animals. And then the DNA amplicons are sequenced, and the students use bioinformatic analysis to analyze the species and the biodiversity. So that's the research. This is what they publish. So all of the students collect their specimens and do the DNA barcoding. And what they publish, there's 2 pages in their publication. On the upper right is the specimen page that has all the metadata about the collection and the picture of the specimen and the GPS of where the location and so on. And then the sequence page, which has this is the DNA barcode for the Reseda High School specimen 114. This is the sequence in letters and the proteins for which it codes. And this is published on the BOLD, which is Barcoding of Life Data System, the BOLD SDP, as well as on NCBI, that's the United States Bioinformatics Platform. In addition to doing barcoding while we're out on the island, we've been able to do a number of other exciting activities. Of course, we do the natural and cultural history tours and the hikes, and we do the sandy beach monitoring. The students have helped assemble wattles for the cloud forest. They've done the photographic monitoring of the vegetation all over the island. They've done seed collection so that native plants can be reseeded. And they've also done orienteering scavenger hunts, which are always a highlight. They do their research as well as all of these activities that are provided for by the staff, by Cody and Robin and Russ. and the kids just love it. So at this point, what we're going to do is I have some of the students here, and they're going to share their testimonials that were included as part of our submission. So Janelle Judge will start first.
Hi, so my name is Janelle Judge, and I would like to say that my experiences on Santa Rosa Island is the best memory I have in high school. It made me explore the natural world outside of like my usual environment. So everything I did along with my friends and teachers were beyond what I had imagined. So from looking at the organisms under the sand to collecting bees, it was truly fascinating to see that such organisms exist in places that I did not anticipate. And so apart from the activities that we did, the view from the hill, as you can see, and the beach were breathtaking. So these made me realize that this kind of opportunity is what I would love to be part of in the future. And the DNA barcoding collaboration with CSU Channel Islands allowed me to envision myself as a researcher who travels to different parts of the world and analyze the organisms living there. So seeing the scenery from different areas of the island made me wonder how other places of the world would look like. And so the memories I have made on the island will always live in my mind, and of course heart to serve as a motivation and a reminder of my first journey in the real world, like outside of the four corners of the classroom. So yeah.
Thank you, Janelle. And next we have Kanye Palani.
Hello. So I'd just like to say that visiting Santa Rosa Island and participating in DNA barcoding gave me like the skills I need to succeed in the lab and collect field specimen, which we did at Santa Rosa. And I made new friends, grew more independent, and learned how researchers collaborate to learn about the environment. I learned more about nature and grew more mindful of the impact of my habits. And activities like collecting and barcoding specimens, beach monitoring, and photographic vegetation monitoring gave me the research experience I would have never gotten in high school. So I made a lot of fun memories while gaining valuable experiences, which I'll always remember.
Thank you. And now we have Namangi Warakoon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Namangi Warakoon, and like everyone else here, I've shared the same wonderful experiences on Santa Rosa Island and doing DNA barcoding. Doing field work to collect the bee samples that gave the final product of a DNA barcode, it says how much value. It constantly reminds me of how involved I was in this process, from the initial collection of raw data to the ultimate production of a barcode. And learning about the environment of Santa Rosa Island through conducting beach monitoring by analyzing the beach sand organism composition was another highlight of that trip. And understanding how different environmental conditions affected what organisms would be present gave me a simpler way of understanding how seemingly minor changes in an environment could create such major changes in the life that inhabits the area that is Santa Rosa Island. And this concept did help me understand that the bees were also subject to adapt biologically according to those environmental changes as well, which we can detect on the molecular level, which I learned with Dr. Wooten in DNA barcoding. And going into high school, I honestly had no intentions of pursuing research at all until I explored the uses of biotechnology and bioinformatics in the biodiversity monitoring program. And the fieldwork and labs sparked my interest in molecular biology. And it's been such an influential factor in my decision to even apply to colleges as a molecular and cellular biology major. So I thank everyone for that experience.
Thank you. And now we have Narinder Bir Singh.
Hi, so my name is Narinder. So the DNA barcoding program and the subsequent trips to Santa Rosa Island were the biggest highlight of my high school journey. They provided me an opportunity to experience hands-on learning in biological sciences. Data collection at Santa Rosa Island and the DNA barcoding program sparked an interest in biological sciences research, biological science research, which I'm pursuing to this day. The DNA barcoding program provided me with the skills that opened many doors for me in the coming years. As a freshman at UC San Diego, I was able to get a research position, and now as a junior, I am in the process of co-authoring my first research paper. All of this is owing to my early exposure to research-based learning facility by the DNA barcoding program and our trips to Santa Rosa Island.
Thank you. And last, we have Daniella Valenzuela.
Hi, my name is Daniella, and I just want to say that I've had the absolute pleasure of visiting Santa Rosa Island so many times. And every time that I've gone, I've fallen more and more in love with everything that the island has to offer. Not only did DNA barcoding enhance my level of education, but it also instilled the basic understanding of laboratory skills. And the landscape of Santa Rosa Island engaged my spirit of adventure with all of its beautiful scenery, which we've seen in all of the images. Having a chance to work with bees and their migration from place to place, as well as being able to see how time and humans change the geography of the landscape, are just some things that I've learned on my trips to Santa Rosa and have emphasized the impact of change over time and the changes that we need to make to further positively impact our environment. Also, the alluring nature made me more aware of the things that we need to do to maintain such a tranquil and effortless flowing ecosystem. Every visit that I've had to the island has brought back more memories and lessons to enrich my everyday life, which has been amazing. I am one of the very lucky students that was given the opportunity to visit Santa Rosa Island, and I hope that I keep visiting Santa Rosa for more years to come and see the impact that it has had on the landscape. It's been an absolute pleasure to have gotten the experience, and this has shaped me into the person I am today and the type of career that I want to pursue. And I hope that this program forever touches the lives of others just like it has to mine.
Thank you very much. And that concludes our presentation.
Robin, are you going to introduce Professor?
Let me unmute myself here.
There you go.
Thanks so much, Wendy and students. We miss you guys. So up next, Dr. Jaime Matera is an assistant professor of anthropology at Cal State University Channel Islands, where he teaches courses on human ecological interactions, qualitative research methods, and economic anthropology, among other topics. As an ecological anthropologist, specializing in the relationship between humans and marine ecosystems, his research examines the challenges of marine conservation and emphasizes the importance of identifying sources of social vulnerability and resilience to anthropogenic and natural environmental disturbances, such as those associated with climate change and fishing. He does so by investigating individual and community level livelihood approaches, institutional changes in marine policy, the importance of local ecological knowledge, and how social relationships can facilitate or hinder resource management programs. He's worked all over the world and has been a longtime supporter of the program and research station, and has even done some roofing work on the side for us. We are very excited to be working with Dr. Matera this fall, who will be teaching the inaugural class on an introduction to interdisciplinary research for our first year students that is focused on the Channel Islands. Thank you so much, Dr. Matera, for joining us.
Thank you, Robin. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? Thank you. And I'm super looking forward to working with you all this coming fall. I'm really excited to get back out in the islands. It's been a way too long of a time to be on dry land. So thank you everyone for being here. Let me kind of start my kind of sharing here. Let's see how I do this. If I remember from my last class I taught. There we go. Yeah, so Robin, there you are on the left-hand side. And I see from the list of our our people that are joining us today, that Daniel right there is also kind of quietly joining us today. So I added this picture. This picture wasn't on our website, the website that you showed earlier on, but I wanted you to kind of notice, everyone's kind of just smiling, because it is such an incredible joy to be out there on the island and have the opportunity to experience not only Santa Rosa, but the interaction between students. Is just really mind-boggling that we have the opportunity to actually do that. So anyway, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us and celebrating art and knowledge and experiences that all of our students have acquired from the trips to Santa Rosa Island and the research station. And just to let you know, I am an anthropologist. I am not an artist, but I love taking pictures. And out of the thousands of pictures that I have taken out there, I was fortunate enough to get a few that were part of the gallery. So thank you so much for choosing those. It was just kind of choosing the experiences that we all have had out there. So in anthropology, we really strive to provide our students with experiential learning, and I think most of us in CI do try to do the same thing. But experiential learning is really another important part of it, and the station and the Channel Islands as a whole have provided us with a just incredible opportunity to do so, and for our students to learn by actually going out there and doing. And we have so far taken just hundreds of students. We've been so fortunate to be able to take so many students out there to the islands on these trips, and I think by far they're the most sought out trips or experiences, I should say, for our students. And whether it's hiking just dozens of miles to Lobo Canyon or Skunk Point and just kind of coming back exhausted as could be, or just looking at shelled middens to understand how people lived thousands of years ago, or just simply kind of enjoying by doing or being there, or by talking to each other. These are really incredible opportunities that add value to the educational experiences that we all strive to provide at CI. One thing that I was trying to think about, probably wasn't the last trip, but the trip before, I had a couple of students that just started to tell me all the first experiences that they have had. So it was their first experience in the national park, the first boat trip, the first overnight trip, the first hikes, the first time seeing whales. That was a big one, the first time seeing whales. So it's really incredible to share those experiences with them, and the smiles that those experiences bring out are truly special for them, and not only for them, truly for me as well as a faculty member. So let's see. So just about the pictures that were fortunately chosen. So these are pictures that are just a glimpse of what it means to be out there on the island and experience learning. And I've seen these smiling faces through the windows while learning about ranching in the schoolhouse. And I think it was Leila who mentioned of the pictures in the schoolhouse. And it's just really an incredible experience to be inside that small little kind of space and really think about all the life that has gone through there. And then we have students that are out on hiking, and they'll kind of stop in the middle of the hike and teach each other about fauna and flora. And you can see here Carly looking at a little lizard that's held on the hand of a fellow student. And of course, this one is just a pleasure of a good, well-deserved rest after a really long trek to Lobo Canyon. And just to give a little kind of extra on this one, you see 2 or 3 or 4 people sleeping there. So it was there was probably a few right next to me as I took that picture, but the other half of the class, they were out and about. They were so excited to be out there and experiencing the islands that there was no rest for them. And I think I can't remember if it was on this particular trip or the one before, but Daniel, who I just mentioned before, he got a little scolding for me because he and a few other people just disappeared. They were so excited to explore the island and experience it that they disappeared for about an hour. And they had made me run all over the place to see where the heck they were. So it's really incredible to have those kind of experiences, or see the students have those experiences. And on this picture, I love this picture because students are so excited to be out there that I literally had to run out to the pier really early in the morning to catch a sunrise before all those early bird students just started to get out there. If you wanted a moment of quietness by yourself, you just had to get out there before everyone else did. Everyone wanted to be out there and experience the island. So these are really experiences that no one really forgets. I certainly don't. It's a way in which our students express who they want to be and who they are. And our anthropology program, and I think everyone in CI is really, really blessed to have access to such a wonderful resource and to have just incredible colleagues, Robin and Russell, and that have just taken on this kind of mantle that Cause left for them, and pour their heart and soul into making the station what it is today. It's just a place of experiences. So I really want to kind of thank Russ and Robin, and certainly Cos and Tracy and everyone else who has made this possible for us and for our students. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jaime.
Yeah.
Russ is going to
Certainly
introduce our next.
Yes. I have the unique opportunity to introduce Matt Beard, who I've been able to spend some time on the island with during a field methods class with ESRM. And so Matt Beard is an independent California artist who has spent the last 15 years painting the entire California coast. He travels the length of the state several times a year, always seeking a new vista to plant his easel, whether it's on the side of the road or a 15-mile hike into the wilderness. And Matt's going to show you, but this is it. It's sort of like from another area or from another era. He hikes out with oil paints and a giant easel on his back and is, documenting the entire coast of California. Has an incredible website that I will share in the chat. He had a brief stint as an oceanography major at Humboldt State, but then switched over to studio art. And he's been able to make art of his full-time gig for the last 7 years, and currently lives in Humboldt County with his wife and 3 kids, where he's coming to us from right now, live from his van. So Matt, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
We just taught Matt how to unmute earlier.
Am I there? All right.
You're good. Go ahead.
So yeah, thanks for the intro there. Yeah, I'm gonna jump straight into a story. I think that'll give you guys a little background on what I do and set the table here. So I just got back from a trip in this van couple weeks ago. It went all the way to San Diego, and I live in Humboldt, so I was on my way back home. I wanted to stop in Jalama. I painted there a few years back, and I wasn't totally happy with the painting, so I thought I'm going to do a better one. So I pull into the park there, and I grab my gear, my pack right here. And I'm thinking I'm going to go walk up on the hill and try to get a view down on the campground. And then I walk about 50 feet. And then I just thought, you know what? I think I heard that you can walk to see the lighthouse at Point Conception. I heard about that. I read about it one time. So I turned around and I didn't grab any food. I had water with me, thankfully. But by the end, I was drinking some paint water, not with paint in it, but the water that it wasn't the cleanest drinking water, but it wasn't dirty. Anyway, unprepared. I just decide to walk the other way. What was going to be just a painting for the afternoon turned into a 12-mile hike. I get to the end. I don't even know if I'm allowed to go up on this hill because there is no trail. It's the beach. It seems to stop. So I don't know what to do. So I go up the hill anyway. I go past all the no trespassing signs. Before I got caught, I painted a quick one looking back so like Halama's out here and I'm like half a mile from Point Conception. I could see it, the station up there, but I didn't want to go in case somebody kicked me out. So I painted that real quick. And then I went up there and painted another one really quick, but this one isn't done because it was like 6 o'clock and getting dark. And I was like, well, not getting dark, but it was getting close. I had to move. So I'm walking back. It's, I'm back to the campground, but not, it's like this. I'm watching the sunset and I'm racing it. The tide is high. I don't know if I'm going to get stuck by the rising tide. I didn't read about this hike. I just did it because I get a little impulsive. I got excited though about Point Conception. I saw Point Conception. I walked to it and I wasn't supposed to do it the way I did. But anyway, I was hungry. I was hoping for a halama burger because you got to go get a burger if you go to halama. And they're closed by the time I get back. But at least I made it with the tide and all, but they're closed. So I'm in the van. I'm sitting here and I'm eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like a king, but still a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Wasn't what I had really hoped for. But that gives you an idea. That's what I do. I look for places I haven't painted before. So like Point Conception, that's one of them. Like, heck yeah, I wanted to get out there. I did it. Like that's what I do. I got a book even. See, painting the California coast. You probably can't see this on there, but on the back, there's a map that has all these little dots of where I've painted. That's San Diego and that's Oregon. And it's pretty red all the way through, but you can't see on your screen. I bet there's some islands on there and there's no dots on there. This book was 2018. Dr. Dan Reinman saw the book and got in touch with me and said, hey, you haven't painted the island yet, or any of them. And so he invited me out, was able to come paint the island, which was awesome. I was out there working with the kids. We did some field method stuff like Russ was saying. So I worked with them with some sketchbooks. I got everybody set up with equipment and we did some field sketching and stuff, just kind of real basic stuff, but it's really cool seeing the kids take to it. So yeah, and so after that it was game on. It was go paint the island. So how amazing, right? Like the hike to Lobo Canyon. Holy moly, that day was to Lobo Canyon, and I didn't stop there. I walked all the way to the end, as far north as I could go before it would have been insane bushwhacking up. So got to Cow Canyon. I painted Cow Canyon. Man, there's a slide. Apex of Spring is right at the base. There you go. See, there's proof I planted my easel right there because it's literally right there. That's right at the base of Lobo. I got caught in the rain that day. I'm walking back in the rain. The paintings all thankfully were protected. I was soaked to the bone. Happy as could be though. That was a good day. That first painting, the Holy Ground painting. Looking back from, this is up over Skunk Point. So from there, I walked the ridge all the way over to the other side to look around the corner, and I painted a little one of East Point that day. I remember walking back that day, and I was probably about 3 miles out from the research station still, and I had a walkie-talkie, and it's Russ. He chimes in. First time anyone chimed in on the walkie-talkie to check on me, but I was like, well, no way, because it was getting dark, or late, and he's checking to make sure things are good. I'm like, yeah, I'm about an hour out, and okay, yeah, we got dinner for you. And going, just the contrast there. So go back to that peanut butter jelly sandwich in my van versus I'm doing the same thing everywhere I go, but here on the island being fully supported was absolutely incredible. And it got me thinking about a lot of things, but the kids are cooking dinner, there's fresh made cookies. I mean, it was a dream. It was a dream for real. But the station is a shelter. I know it does a lot of things, but we're as humans, we need shelter. That's a fundamental need, but it's more than just the kitchen and dry place to warm up and all that. It's more than that. It's the community. It was a team. Like when I'm out on my own doing my thing, like, yeah, I got a van and I'm pulling it off, but I'm limping along and I'm eating PB&Js. But when you got community, it supports so much. And art, science, whatever the occasion is, having that station there and the people, the team, Russ and the team that rotates out of the station, and the Robin, Aspen, and then the students, the staff, the way everybody works together. There's so much teamwork, and that station facilitates that. So I wanted to really say thank you, and that's really what the station means to me. It's community, and it's amazing. So thanks for having me. It was an honor. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Matt. It's been just so fun being able to discover your paintings. I had never seen them before until Dan showed them to me recently. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Sorry, I talk fast. I'm sorry. I got excited.
Our final presenter tonight is Patricia Keller. She is a CSU Channel Islands alumna, go Dolphins. She graduated in 2019, where she studied ceramic sculpture and screen printing. She describes herself as an installation artist and a printer, a potter. Sorry, I'm distracted. The train tracks are right by my studio, so the train's going to come by in a second. I apologize for that. She creates immersive experiences using clay as her primary medium. Her inspiration is nature and the mundane. She currently teaches beginning ceramics at California Lutheran University and offers workshops and demonstrations at local art institutions. And she's a member of the Ventura County Potters Guild. Trisha, we are so excited you're here tonight.
Hi, thank you for having me. My PowerPoint or my presentation, I will have to put a disclaimer out there. It's not as anecdotal because I'm afraid that every slide has 20 stories to go with. And so that's really what this presentation is about, is to how do I reconcile all of these memorable experiences and excursions and, at times, seemingly life-threatening when you see these massive waves coming your way because you made the mistake of looking forward from the stern and just watching this. It could have been 120 feet wave, or it could have been a 20-foot wave. I just didn't have any real concept. But I did know that I get seasick. So every trip to the island for the 2 years that I was at Channel Islands was a gut-wrenching experience. I was the one where that first trip, I understood that Robin was very worried and had to ask Matt Famansky, is she gonna be okay? So I was able to pull it together after my first trip out there in 2017. And I took every opportunity I could to go to the island, to learn about it, to experience it, and to learn about myself and discover a narrative. So I'll share my presentation. Okay, it was here earlier, just a moment. Thank you for your patience. So as I mentioned, I describe myself as a ceramic artist, and I am very proud to call myself a CI alumna. And I graduated in 2019. And as I mentioned, just the work that I submitted for this exhibit is my way of reconciling my experiences. And I find that I have to immerse myself in every site to discover what I can say with clay. So today I'll be sharing two of the projects that I submitted for this exhibit that were inspired by my experiences there at Santa Rosa Island as an art student. One is a mixed media installation, and the other is a set of pottery as part of my art capstone project. And a little bit about myself, as Marianne mentioned, I consider myself an installation artist and a potter. So with that, I work very hard, well, not very hard, but very diligently and with as much integrity as possible to evoke a sense of place and time to conjure emotion, memory, or self-reflection. So I will begin first with my Traces 2 installation, and I did that in 2019. So my Traces 2 is a mixed media installation from a group show that I did in 2019 with 4 fellow Channel Islands art students. And our show was called Evolve, and we exhibited it at 643 Project Space in Ventura. Thank you, Matt Fermansky, for offering your place to us. And my installation was inspired by my very first trip to Santa Rosa Island in 2017. So this installation, it's meant to evoke the eucalyptus grove on the island that's next to the old hunting cabin. And this space, while all the other art students were learning how to make press molds and plaster molds of all the artifacts there at the hunting cabin, I found myself wandering away from the group, which I often do, because I like to find those quiet spaces, the ones that that people don't generally spend the time in. And so I did. I found this quiet space in the trees, and it just gave me an opportunity because we're off the grid. And there are no distractions. And so this really gave me the opportunity to contemplate, these existential ideas and concepts like the passage of time and life and death and decay and, mostly renewal. And I studied the way the bark just peeled away from the trees and collected on the ground below. And I was just mesmerized. And so this image here, you can see how I use raw and fired clay on the wall and on the floor to replicate the layers of the eucalyptus bark peeling and falling and collecting to create an immersive experience for the viewer. And so this installation is 8 foot by 12 foot by 3. And there are also details in the mulch bed that will explain the next couple of images that are close-ups. So this here is an image of rodent bones that were located there in the mulch bed. And again, Matt Fermansky, you'll be hearing his name a lot, I suppose. But he pointed out these aloe pellets in the mulch bed. And it reminded me of my anthropology classes, and we had to dissect the pellets and identify and draw the bones. And much like Jaime mentioned, it's like, oh, he says he's not an artist, and I said, well, I'm not a scientist, but my heart is in those. I like to go deep and technical. But I think my search is different, or maybe it's the same. Maybe Jaime and I should talk. So also, I want to make sure that everybody understands that after we dissected the pellets, everything was left in place. But I'd like for you to notice that they were left on a eucalyptus leaf. So that kind of gives you an idea of the scale. So here you can see in the installation how I use raw and fired stoneware, porcelain, and probably like 2 years of collected dryer lint that I use to mimic the owl pellets in the mulch bed. So, and in this final close-up, you can see how I wrapped the lint around the fired porcelain to mimic rodent bones in the pellets. So in closing of this part 1, my Traces series is my attempt to explore how accumulated remnants of existence, which we consider seemingly trite or meaningless, are embedded and imbued with memory and sentiment. And my experiences on the island heavily influenced this discovery. Part 2 of my presentation will be about my art capstone project. One part of my capstone project was a site-specific dinnerware set for the research station. And the pottery that I'll be sharing with you today was designed and created by me and my project collaborator, Natalie Gula. She could not join us this evening. She is living her life and developing her career up in St. George, Utah. So many of you have mentioned how important that bunkhouse is, not only as a shelter and refuge, but also as a space for community. And I learned in my anthropology class that, communitas and is that sense that we are experiencing. And I really enjoyed all the excursions and the multiple miles, just trekking, over hill, over dale, and always looking forward to regrouping back at the bunkhouse. So my partner, Natalie, and I, we really wanted to give back to that space. And so because it is the main communal hub and where all the visiting parties regroup to partake in the ritual of nourishment and fellowship, we wanted to enhance this experience. So on a very human level, we wanted to create a dinnerware set inspired by the landscape and the natural history, as well as the human history on the island. So to accomplish this, we spent the entire semester studying and planning and developing and executing our project. So we began with field study, and I use that term very loosely. So that first semester, when we were there with the science students doing their data collection, they called us the art kids. And I really liked that. Here I was, a transfer student, a non-traditional student, older than my cohorts. But I really enjoyed being labeled the art kids. So so this field study, again, I use it very loosely because our field methods, they're more subjective, and we get to do this self-directed, loose method. So it was very immersive. We did a lot of interpretive hikes. We did multiple pool excursions. We would do stargazing, walking down to the pier, waiting to see the Milky Way. There was even, we were supposed to be seeing a comet, all the while making sure to collect images of the landscape and even impressions of the artifacts there on the island in the ranching area. So when we made it back to the mainland, we kept up an intense pace, designing and executing and delivering a finished product. And in doing so, we worked very hard to maintain the integrity and inspiration of the project. So these bowls here, we made stamps from the impressions, both from the ranch area and then also around the island. And This one here, the impressions here were made from taking impressions from the eucalyptus pods. This little section here, these are actually from a pine cone that Formansky made he made a mold from, and we were able to create a stamp for that one. And then this one here is made from the ropes and some of the rivets on the rendering vats over in the livestock area. The plate here is our interpretation of the stratification of the cliff sides as you approach from the beach onto the pier. So in closing, our glazed combinations and blended clay bodies were designed to translate the unique landscape of the Santa Rosa Island into functional pottery. Each piece is meant to evoke a sense of place and time, offering each user an opportunity to remember their own personal experiences on the island with a sense of reverence. And every meal is meant to be a visual and tangible experience of the island, and also an opportunity to make new ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patty. It's we invited the speakers tonight specifically because we thought they really kind of showed a wonderful balance of not only the range of work that we have in this exhibition, but also the experiences that take place at the station. And as a professor, you know, I knew Patty when I was teaching at Ventura College, and then she came to Channel Islands when I did. It was amazing for me to see how her work transformed after visiting the island. And you know, it's a slice of her entire experience of CI, but it was one that was very influential to her. And this opportunity wouldn't be given to students at other universities. You know, research stations like these are rare at universities, to say that, but also the opportunity for art students to be validated, to have their research validated, and to be included in interdisciplinary practices like this. It doesn't happen all the time. So I'm very proud to be a part of CI for that reason, one of those reasons, but also to see how it's affected, you know, my students directly. We are going to do some question and answer. If anybody has any questions or comments, or I don't have to have this slide up really, I don't think.
Can I say something real quick?
Please, Jaime.
Yeah, Patty, thank you for those plates and those cups. Love them. I know that some people have said it on the chat, but man, we enjoyed them so much. We totally tripped out on them. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And of course, the shout out for Anthro and the experiences you have had on those courses. The idea of communitas, that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime.
All right, Russ, do you want to take us home?
Anybody else have any burning comments that they have or questions for any of the presenters? Speak now.
I just want to chime in and say,
go ahead, Daniel.
Say absolutely thank you to everyone. Yeah, this island is a special place, not just for me, but for so many people. And seeing folks love it, enjoy it, share it, honor it is exceptional. So keep it up.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. That, you know, you can just hear the enthusiasm that you have. And I echo that as well. I think everyone who's involved in this collaboration, which I think was sort of spawned in the unique time that we're in right now, but we see, these we turn challenges into opportunities, and like this is a great opportunity going forward to find ways to reach more folks. We want to thank everybody who is involved in this project, everyone who submitted work, all the folks in the committee, and Daniel Solis, who's here, who's a digital art student, who is was an intern, a student assistant on this project, who basically built this thing. And just encourage everyone to get into this site, explore. There's incredible sort of very prescient reflections that are themed to those different areas. That I just really encourage everyone to revisit, and we will be integrating this more into our site. And from a going back to that word revisit, we hope that everyone who has interest in the island will continue to work with us, be in touch with us. It's been a challenging period for everyone, but in reality, one really cool thing in terms of stabilizing this program and working with the university to really get great buy-in on the fact of what it can do and what it can mean, and the impact that it can have even in this next year as we come out of COVID and we start to be able to get folks on the island again. And we're really looking to ramp up very much. We were in spring 2020 and we had huge impacts, but we are sort of on the precipice to really re-engage across disciplines in a very integrative way. We have lots of great things on the horizon. We have a bunch of intensive summer programs we're going to be running. We're going to be working with folks from within CI across our community and with our partners going forward. And it's a very exciting time for all of us. So we thank you for sharing this creativity here, and we encourage you to continue to work with us, to visit, and keep that fire going into the future.
I think Professor Annie White has a comment question.
Go ahead, Annie.
Hi, let's see. I don't know if my camera will work or not. I'll try. I don't have the greatest Wi-Fi here, but we'll give it a try. So thank you so much for this lovely presentation, all the work that went into it. Was just astounding. I've had a chance to look at the website and just been really blown away by the quality of work and just all the effort. Made me really proud to be a dolphin, I have to say that. But I had a question for you, Russ. Recently, I sit on the university SRPC, and I brought up the question about what was the vision for the university for the Santa Rosa Island, what kind of support, and also at times I have unfortunately felt like the Santa Rosa Island has been a little bit of a stepchild in the university. It's like a hidden gem. Yeah. It's a hidden gem, but I felt like a little bit, and have had concern that sometimes where I've been concerned about the amount of support and what's the long time, planning and vision for the island to support the work that you and the staff are doing. So I heard you say a little bit about, it's not as short term, but I just like to know from you as the director, what is your long-term vision? If we're an institution, where would you like to see the island be and the work 10 years, 20, 50 years from now? And what can we do as faculty and community partners to support this important work?
Well, thank you very much, Annie. I really appreciate that. And I love working with you. And we have great submission from Annie with the work that she does in some incredible interdisciplinary programs with their My Story project. There are a few images that are there, and there's also a link I encourage you to explore of her larger submission. But thanks for that, Annie. I think, what I tell people is, so I've been here for a little over 3 years, and my previous position was I spent 17 years at a nonprofit working on one of the longest term cooperative agreements, federal agency NGOs in the US history, and on this research project on the Farallon Islands that I was involved with from year 33 to year 50 on that project, or maybe as an intern, even year 30 to year 50. And that mindset is definitely something that that we are working to bring here, is to say, like, the establishment of the research station is an incredible thing. It's this fantastic legacy, but we're sort of in this kind of teenage stage. And so we are both focused on, stability in the short term, but that real growth and long-term stability. And so that, relates to stability in staff, growth of staff. It's been a huge priority of mine that we have been pretty successful with. We are working closely with the National Park Service about some of things with their long-term management plan. I think really working to try to highlight the value of the station and how the presence of CI on Santa Rosa is really integrated to that long-term plan, and they have committed to that. And one thing that I've been very buoyed by is some extremely strong engagement with our new university leadership, particularly our interim president, Richard Yao, and our new provost, Mitch Avila, who we both had out at the station. And actually President Yao, he spent did 3 days on the island with a surf group 2 years ago. He's the first president in our university's history who's done that. And he's had that tangible experience. He's been able to relay that in some of the connections we've made with the park leadership. And I think that is a great thing. I think it's a very strong, and we are really pushing to sort of showcase that things like the Santa Rosa Island Research Station and some of the other high impact practices that we champion at CI are some of our most valuable programs, and they should be integral to the brand of the university. And so I think we do that with having high aspirations, but also bringing, a very realistic approach to long-term financial security, which is what, we've done that. We've been able to get more both donor support. We've done things with fee restructuring, and we're doing a lot of lobbying within the university to get more operating support with that long-term vision. We think about this, we see some great opportunities and some real excitement, engagement in the next few years, but we're thinking about 1 year, 2 years, but you're right. I mean, we're thinking about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. All of these types of programs are things that we build on the legacy of what came before us. We do the best that we can in the time that we have, and we put that in a position going forward, because creating transformational experiences for students and for this community, and particularly for our underserved folks, is that there's a huge need there for a very long period of time. So we're very much committed to that long-term vision. We've gotten some really strong engagement, and I think we are working very hard to have the university recognize that the research station can be this unique part of its brand. And especially as what we've talked about too, our research station is a research station for our entire university and our entire community. And that there are ways that where that connective tissue crosses all over the place. So yes, there's definitely challenges, but we've also, I think we are making good progress on that. And I encourage everyone to, continue to engage on that. And we will continue to sort of communicate about where things are going short-term and long-term. We hopefully will get into a reality going forward where our reality isn't changing every, few days or a few weeks. But we're very excited about the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? The last call. I kind of sort of wrapped in, a bunch of that, just saying that we're really excited looking going forward. We want to encourage future submissions and creative work and have this be sort of an integral part of our resources going forward. And feel free to reach out to us at any time. We're just excited to get to continue both this work in the virtual space and in the physical space, and get back out to the island. Just thank everyone for attending and your interest in this. We've also got several of our partners, our other high school, middle school partners, educational community partners, and that's an area where we're going to be expanding as well in terms of the use of the station in that way that can help reach many other folks, and that also helps us in terms of stability and revenue. And we really appreciate all those high school and middle school partners who are attending today. So thank you, everyone. Unless anyone has anything else, I think Marianne, can we?
I think Jaime, Professor Matera would like to speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And it's kind of piggybacking on what Russell just said. So I was really, by the way, I wanted to say kind of thank you to Layla and Dr. Wooten and Matt and Patty for their great kind of presentations as well. So I wanted to address Wendy's, Dr. Wooten's presentation, and especially because she brought in 5 of her students and to discuss their experiences on the island. So I was hoping that she to ask her, what she gets out. I understand what their students get out, like Janelle and Tanya and, oh man, I'm gonna butcher some names, Nimagie and Nadine their beer and Daniela. It was really beautiful to hear from them and see how incredible that experience in high school is in motivating future researchers and future scholars. By the way, CI is there for you. So welcome. So Dr. Wooten, I was wondering how you feel as a teacher, taking these students and having them have these incredible experiences out on the islands, and how that has built how you imagine teaching students in the future.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jaime. Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing, and if you geographically look at it, the San Fernando Valley is not that far from Ventura Harbor and the Channel Islands right there. But there are so many of our students that haven't even been to the Pacific Ocean. And the fact that they actually get to go out to the island, they're there for 4 or 5 days, and it's such a new experience in so many ways. Not only the environment and being out in nature and that kind of thing, but having to cook their own meals and follow a schedule of, we need to hunt for the bees in the morning, but then we're going to do the sandy beach monitoring in the afternoon, and so on, dividing them up into hiking groups so they can go do the photographic monitoring. Every single experience that they have on the island, even riding on a boat, we talked about how these experiences are transforming, and they really are. And the fact that, these kids eventually are going to go off to college, and yet they've never been away from home, and they've never been out on an island or even to the beach. It just opens their eyes to so many more opportunities. And to me, that's the biggest thing about this. And because it is so transformational, that's why so many of them say it's the best thing they've done in their 4 years of high school. So yes, we're doing a research project because I love science, but just the whole experience for the kids is just something that's going to be with them the rest of their lives.
Thank you, Wendy. It's really nice to see that they're getting those experiences before they hit CI.
Yes, absolutely. I have to say that as a former Girl Scout leader, I know Robin and Aspen mentioned something about, how I kind of organized them and, kind of herd them around and get them to do their things. We have a caper chart. They are divided into, cooks, cleanup, and setup. And, so, in a way, they're almost like my Girl Scout troop from the past. But like I said, the opportunities that are provided by going out to Santa Rosa Island, it's just amazing.
All righty. So I think unless we have anything else, we'll probably close it here. We'll just thank everybody, all our speakers tonight, everyone who attended, and just really appreciate everyone's support very, very much. And I hope to see you all in the real world very, very soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Be well.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Daniel again for
you,
making this
Daniel.
possible.
I'm glad you turned your camera on, Daniel, so we could know that you were here. I hope everybody felt our gratitude.
So Marianne, I think I actually wasn't able to record because I didn't get that permission thing, but it looks like you have it. So if you can just save that, we'll figure
I
out.
forgot to start until after I was speaking. Isn't that convenient?
No worries.
There's no record of my little speech.
I was trying to record and it said I needed permission from you. So that was the one thing we didn't get.
You're a host. I'm sorry I didn't see
I have no idea. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you in person. That was amazing. What a great view of the island and just so well-rounded. Marianne, it's so good to meet you or virtually.
Hi, Cindy.
This was amazing. And I love the collection.
Yeah.
So are you going to do this ongoing, like every year?
Ideally, I don't know if it's every year or how we update it, but yes, we will continue. So for other folks, Cindy Martin is a science teacher at Isabel Middle School in Santa Paula, and she's one of our main collaborators with our BWET program, Bay Watershed and Educational Training, that we are doing content for kids in upper watershed to the beach and bringing them out to the island finally, hopefully next year. But she's been a great partner with some of our middle school work, and thanks so much for attending. And I saw a few other teachers in here too, which is great. And it's just awesome. Awesome to have you here.
Is such a great thing because it just really rounds out the whole experience, because we're bringing little scientists out, but we're bringing little humans out more than just scientists, and that's it's great to see all the different parts that are working. So I just appreciate that you support that, Russell, and Marianne, just so inspiring. Thanks for all of your work here.
Thank you. Hopefully we can meet on the island sometime.
Yeah,
for sure. And Cindy, feel free to share the site and even use it with students and other stuff. We're going to find ways to keep this dynamic for sure.
Perfect. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
All right.
Okay.
Job,
Thanks,
Matt.
everybody. Thank you, Matt. Good job.
Thank you so much. You're muted again. I had to mute you. I hope people don't think I'm mean when it says Marianne McGrath muted you.
Oh, it's necessary. Yeah.
All right, folks. I think we will.
All right. We'll see you.
Jump off.
That was fun.
All right.
Fine to figure it out.
Till next time. Take care,
Stay
everyone.
in touch, Matt. We'll miss our
soon.
Monday meetings, y'all. What are we gonna do Monday afternoon?
For sure. We'll touch base because we should do one follow-up thing, and we're gonna do some follow-up with you, Daniel. But this has been great, and this has worked out awesome. I think we got up to like 45-ish or something. So
I think
excellent.
so.
Awesome. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye, y'all.